Radio Improntadigitale, sono con Scott Farrar, premio Oscar, Visual Effects Supervisor Senior from ILM. You worked on Transformers Dark of the Moon. This is the last project you presented here on the ViewConference. What changed in comparison to the previous movies in the design of the Transformers?
Michael likes to make the robots look like they have muscles, like strongmen. So we redesigned Optimus Prime. So he even had a six-pack. Do you know a six-pack?
Yeah.
And Bumblebee, a bigger chest, looks stronger, like he could fight better. And then a lot of different little details around the face. We find sometimes that we need, the robots must speak. So sometimes we have to add more pieces around the mouth or the eyes to show emotion, you see. And but some of the things are not in the design, it's more the ideas of what do we want to do that's different. We always like to make it better than the last time. So before we started the film, I said to Michael, I had a little film that showed high-speed cameras that shoot 1,000 frames per second, very, very high speed, and with water splashing and metal breaking and wood breaking, nails and bullets going through metal and balloons and so forth. So I said, wouldn't it be great if we went very, very high speed and slowed the robots down? I know people complained about the previous film, Revenge of the Fallen, because sometimes it was too fast. I said, let's go the other way. Let's go very, very slow and make it darker and moodier with the lighting. So a lot of things were aesthetic choices, artistic choices. And he said, yeah, that sounds great, let's do that. And that's what you see in the film.
So the characters also became much more just like superheroes, maybe. But the look was much more biological, I guess. It was something liquid spreading from their bodies.
Yeah, did you like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that, because I think the interaction makes it look like a real piece of machinery. If you have a car and it gets hit, liquid comes out because it has things to cool the engine and all the different oils, and there are lots of things in there that are different colors. You know, the antifreeze to cool the engine can be green or yellow, and so we did things like that, and we make it sort of red, but that's more like hydraulic fluid. And people would say, is that blood? No, 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 it's hydraulic fluid. And so then, yeah, and a lot of my crew, they didn't like this. I think that's too much. I said, no, no, I want all this slobber coming out of this guy that just got hit. And even, you know, in the alley sequence, I said, I want it even to hit the lens. You know, it goes just like that. And I'd show it to Michael, said, oh yeah, that's great, that's fine. And my producer would go, oh, it's taking a lot of time to put that in. You know, somebody that has to spend the time. But I think it makes it look more real and cooler.
Okay, so in computer graphics, you usually add a lot of details to make it more realistic and believable. But is there sometimes a limit where you stop and you say, okay, that's enough. That's it could be too much, maybe. So when you choose to stop.
Well, the detail of the robots it varies quite a bit, because the problem is if you make it perfect and clean, it looks fake. And most people think that doesn't look real. And if you look at anything made out of metal, you know, you'll see a deviation. You know, it's not flat, and there might be scratches, or maybe somebody put wax on it, or dirt, or it could be anything. And that's part of the real world. You wash your car, you go drive your car, in 1 hour you have bugs and dirt and mud. Okay, it's the same for robots, and that's part of what makes it look real. And it's the imperfection. The problem with computer imagery is it's too perfect, and I keep saying, mess it up, mess it up.
So this is imperfection to make perfection.
That's correct. Well, it makes people believe. I think that's true.
Okay, I guess you followed also the shooting part of the movie, right?
Yes.
And what was the reaction of the citizens of Chicago?
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah?
They loved it. Every explosion, and it takes a while to set these up. It might be 2 hours. And then it goes boom, 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 and a car flips, and soldiers run, and whatever happens, and then Michael calls, cut. Yay! There's a little moment where people wait, and then thousands of people would come to the city to see what we were doing, and they loved it.
So they kind of...
It's a big show.
Yeah, just a big show.
A big show, yeah.
Just because almost everything now is being shooted in Chicago. So I was wondering if the people of Chicago were wondering, okay, Transformers are destroying the city. Where is the Batman?
Yeah, right. It was, I think I've told you that I do a lot of the aerials, and I was flying almost every day for 6 weeks because the weather changes, or you have to wait for. We would have 300 people, PAs, production assistants.
Yeah.
You know this?
Yeah.
So all these people would clear the streets and make sure that people don't enter the area that I'm going to fly over.
Yeah.
And there are all these rules and regulations, and so it takes a long time to get that set up. And maybe the light changes, or the sun goes behind a cloud, or there's a boat coming down the river that wasn't supposed to be there, and you wait, and then you have 5 minutes to shoot, and you shoot quick, and then they say, oh, sorry, we got to let the traffic go away. So it takes a long time to shoot. And I was up above one of the main buildings. It's where Ultra Magnus is on top of that. When he's walking back and forth,
yeah.
And then he jumps down in front. That was a building that Al Capone lived in, and he was the gangster.
Yeah.
And anyway, there's a lot of history there. So we were flying up there, and we were shooting some of those shots. And Michael Bay is down below on a walkie-talkie, and he's watching us. And he knows that all the people are watching. And they've cleared all around. He says, "You guys are going too slow. Make this a show. People are watching." So we go, okay, so just going around and around, and all kinds of more radical moves. And he said, the trouble is, I can't use that stuff all the time. We need slower moves too, but it's fun.
Okay. How is to work with Michael Bay?
I have a good time. We get along very well. I'm not sure he gets along with everybody, but I like him a lot because he's very decisive, and also he likes a lot of the ideas that I come up with. And I think that when you're working on a film, if you can contribute ideas, that's the best thing you can have, and that's what makes it fun to do.
Okay, so who thought to kill Megatron? Now tell me, please.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
I think that probably came from the writer. Yeah. But
obviously.
Yeah. But that's the problem. When you write a script, it gets very complicated. Who's going to, what do you do with each character? And maybe he can come back. I don't know.
Let's hope it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Scott.
You're welcome.
I know you will be in Lucca Comics and Games, sarai a Lucca Comics and Games, Radio Improntadigitale sarà ovviamente lì come media partner, speriamo di vederti. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Vado.
Ciao.